Hey everyone, welcome to Excel Level Up. I've been using Excel since the late 1980s, and in my videos I share with you my knowledge to hopefully make you a better user. My most popular videos are almost always dealing with problems that users experience with Vlookup. Today, instead of addressing those problems and solutions, we're going to look at this in a different way. I'm going to show an alternative to Vlookup, which is appropriately called Xlookup. I believe if you give Xlookup a chance, you'll find value in it. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to explain why Xlookup is superior to Vlookup. I'm going to show you how to use Xlookup in comparison to how you use Vlookup today. And then finally, we're going to walk you through an example. Hopefully that sounds good for you, and let's get started. So how is Xlookup more superior or greater than Vlookup? So as some quick background here, I think anyone that has used Vlookup has experienced some problems with it. I find if it's a real quick tool, it's fine to do the job that I need it to do, but if it's something I'm going to have in a spreadsheet for maybe months or years as new data is getting added to it, I find that it has problems. It doesn't work very well with spreadsheets that constantly are having new columns added, new rows, etc. And I think Microsoft recognized this one, so in probably a long overdue enhancement, they introduced Xlookup only in 2019, so just a few years ago in their newer versions of Excel. It's very possible you don't even realize that the version of Excel you have already has Xlookup, but it's possible if you're on an older version of Excel it's not there, but probably most people now are in a version that it is there. So how is it better? Well, it gives you more control. And we'll take a look at an example of that one. It's more efficient as well. So when Vlookup has to select the entire data range in many cases, Xlookup allows you to be very pinpointed in what data you have to look up and what data needs to be returned. And that just makes this run smoother. And when you have a large data set, you definitely don't want functions taking a long time. It slows down your machine, it slows down your spreadsheet. It also has built-in error handling, and this is kind of like how to fight the dreaded n/a errors. So if an error is encountered, you can tell Xlookup how to handle it. Whereas right now with Vlookup, you have to embed it within an if errors, so make it like a sub-function of another one. So while you can handle it in Vlookup, it's really kind of a pain to do that. Xlookup is a lot easier. And while we're not going to cover it today, Xlookup gives you many more advanced options. So if it's something you're interested in, give this video a thumbs up, but I'm not going to get into that one because it's not necessary to know in order to how to use Xlookup. So now let's compare Xlookup to Vlookup. So let's first kind of quickly go through the Vlookup formula, and then we'll kind of talk about how Xlookup is different from that. So if you're familiar with this one, Vlookup is where you first go through and you say what value you want to look up. It's usually like perhaps what's the data point that you're kind of searching something about. Then you go to the table array, and that's where the data, all the data elements are over there, and that you're going to want to pull some data back from the table array. Then you have to define what column in that table array you want to return. And then finally, you have to say what match style. And match style is whether you want to be an exact match or not. What's kind of strange about Vlookup is that it doesn't by default say the match has to be exact. And I know that causes a lot of problems. So if you don't indicate you want to be an exact match, it does its best guess, which sometimes returns odd matches, which a lot of people, so most people I know that use Vlookup always have to go in there and say exact match. One good thing with Xlookup, that automatically assumes you want exact match. So anyway, let's take a look at Xlookup, how it's different from Vlookup. So you'll see down here with Xlookup, you start out just similar to Vlookup. You look at the lookup value, but here's where it starts to get a little bit different. So you're actually going to have a lookup array. So now you only have to indicate where you want to look up. So you have a lookup value, which is usually a single point. And now you're going to say, here's all the data that should find a match for the lookup value. So you don't have to select an entire table. You only have to say where the lookup value needs to match. Then you address what data do you want to return, and that return array is usually right next to or near the lookup array, so that's a slight difference there. And then while this is optional, I find it's a very good thing is you give logic to the message of saying, if I don't find a match, what should happen? Do I put up a message or do I run another function? So it's an optional value, but I kind of think if you're using Xlookup, you should always use this feature. So let's jump into an example here. So in what I'm looking at in Excel, I've already kind of pre-set up some data, but on the right-hand side, I have a list of states and territories of India along with the abbreviation for each. The data goes beyond this screen, but I think everyone can understand what I'm showing here. On the left-hand side in blue, I have a list of Indian states, and I want Vlookup and Xlookup to give me what the abbreviation is for each of the states over in column A. So let's go ahead and get started and look at this. So how would I do VLOOKUP? Because I think it's good to do a comparison of both of these. So I'll start typing in VLOOKUP, and then I have to say the lookup value. So the lookup value is going to be the state here in column A3. Then you hit the comma key, and then it says you need the table array. So what I normally do in this one, since it's in both of these columns, I'll go ahead and highlight columns F and G, and then hit the comma again, and then I have to say what do I want to return. In this case, I want to bring over the abbreviation, and here the abbreviation is in the second column in column G, so I put a 2 right there, hit another comma, and then I have to say exact match, and then close it out, and it works like I wanted it to. It brought back the abbreviation for the state. So works just fine right here. And then let's look up how Xlookup will work in the same way. It's a little bit more complex, but not too bad. So I first do Xlookup, same thing. I have to pick the name of the state that I want right here and do a comma. And now I only need to select where am I trying to match this. So now I only need to select column F. I don't have to do F and G. In fact, I don't want to do F and G. I'll do another comma, and now I do the return array, and this is now where I select column G, and then if I want to, I can close it out right there, and it should bring back the abbreviation if it all works according to plan, and it did. So all I would have to do then is just copy this down, and I complete my task. But where does VLOOKUP start to fail? And let's kind of do an example here. Let's say I decided I wanted to add a column over here where I have my list of states and territories and abbreviations for some other reason, and I decided to insert a column right here. So I'm going to insert a column between F and G and push abbreviation over to the right. And you'll see then the VLOOKUP over here now doesn't know what to do because it says it's hard-coded in there to pull the second column, and this right here becomes the second column. So it breaks the logic whenever you make a change to basically the source table of data. So that's one way that VLOOKUP breaks. As you can see on here, Xlookup is smart enough to say it locks itself into where the data is so it doesn't worry if a column gets inserted or not. So we'll go back here and say, let's bring the abbreviation back in. Now let's look up error handling. So let's say if I had mistyped in the name of the state here, and let's say I'd left off the H at the end, you're going to see that it's going to break both VLOOKUP and Xlookup. So it's not going to bring back UP. It's going to bring back the dreaded #n/a error. Well, right here that if I want to fix this here, I have to actually put like an if error message in front of VLOOKUP. But I don't want to do that though. I'll show you how Xlookup has a built-in error handling. So right here, if I want to put in if not found, this is where I can put some logic where I can just put the words like not found or anything that I want to, and then hit enter. So when it doesn't find that exact match, it's able to give you a message that makes it very apparent that there's a problem with the data, whether it's misspelled in the source data or misspelled in the results data. So it's a really great way for you to find where mistakes are with the data, and then allows you to fix them. And as you can see on here now, when I correct it, spell the state correctly, it's going to fix the abbreviation for both, but it allows you to really quickly do this. As you can see, Xlookup is not that much different from VLOOKUP, but it gives you many more capabilities that I think you'll find useful. I hope you give Xlookup a chance, and please let me know if it works out for you or not. Before you click away, if you're interested in learning about another VLOOKUP alternative, I'm going to put a link to another video of mine that explains how to use the dual combination of index match to improve on VLOOKUP. I hope you have a great day.